Loveline is meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. Loveline starts now.
And it is Loveline. Again, that number is 1-800-LOVE-191. Very exciting evening today.
Yeah.
Why don't you introduce our guest?
Oh, I don't know. A little guy who started off his career in the space rock band Hawkwind many years ago, but you probably know him best for the close to 35 years as the only static member of a band called Motorhead. The image of his silhouette holding that Rickenbacker bass, that alone is enough to put shivers up my spine. I'm of course talking about the man sitting right next to me, musical icon Lemmy.
You romantic fool.
The man's the modern Jesus. Yeah. To be honest, he's fucking Jesus Christ.
Motorhead is my life.
Without Lemmy, there'd be like Motorhead, there'd be no Metallica, no Megadeth, no Slayer, nothing. There wouldn't be any of the heavy metal we have today.
Rock and roll, he's Lemmy. Lemmy, he's rock and roll.
Rock and roll!
If I hear Motorhead, I will bang the whole time.
Lemmy is God. They drop a nuclear bomb on this planet, Lemmy and cockroaches is all that's going to survive.
Move over for a damage case. Hey, babe, wait a minute, stop.
Hey everybody, it's Loveline. Lemmy from Motorhead in the house. Mike Catherwood paying homage.
You know it.
Current CD is called Motorizer. Came out last year as the 24th CD for Motorhead. Amazing.
Yeah, it amazed me, all right.
35 years ago when you're getting the band started, do you think you'd be 25 albums in?
You don't think like that. You think 2 years, you know. I mean, you just want to play with a couple of guys, you know. That's all it is. And then it goes on and on.
And on.
Yeah.
Is it true that over 2,000 women you've bedded?
No, that was actually the magazine printed that. I said 1,000.
Yeah, that's still pretty impressive.
Not really. I've never been married, and I've been, you know, I'm 63.
Yeah.
Work it out. It's not many a year.
I like how he thinks. Let's go to calls. Jason's calling from Canada.
Lemmy, it's an honor to be talking to you, a true legend.
Thank you.
I had two quick questions for you. Basically, I'd like to know what are your musical influences today? And the other question is favorite place to play a gig?
Well, I don't really mind wherever we play as long as they go hooray, you know.
I think it's cool that you're still rocking today. Keep up the good work.
Well, I will, because don't forget I'm not qualified to do anything else.
The other question was, what are your musical...
Influences, yeah.
He anticipates that one.
Your influences are the same, you know, when you're my age as when you were 20. The first things you hear that really knock you out stick with you, you know. You're never going to hear any music better than that. So it was Little Richard, the Beatles, Elvis, you know, all that good old stuff, you know.
Where were you, Lemmy, when you heard that stuff?
Well, the first time I saw the Beatles, they hadn't made a record yet.
You saw them?
I saw them at the Cavern in Liverpool.
What was that like?
It was magic, like they were magic, you know.
Did you think, oh my God, this is going to be the greatest rock band of all time, or this?
Yeah,
is
kind of. I
great?
did, because like we used to get these girls would come down. I lived in this holiday resort place in North Wales, and you get these girls from Liverpool who come down, and every year it was this singer called Billy Fury. They were all crazy about him, and then one year it all changed. It was this Beatles thing, you know. So we hitchhiked up to Liverpool and see what they were like, and they were monstrous. They were, like, perfect, you know. Everybody thinks the Stones were the hard men and the Beatles were the sissies, and it's really opposite. The Beatles were from Liverpool and the Stones were from the London suburbs, you know, going to art school and shit, you know, so it wasn't that way at all. And the Beatles I always thought were the best band in the world, you know. Well, you got the Beatles in mono box. And I knew you were going to say that. Okay. How about that? Did you find that?
The owner gave you hers.
Yeah, I'll come over right now.
4670. So take American Express.
Oh, yeah. Take Visa?
Yeah.
Where's the lady that gave me that copy?
I know.
Thank you very much.
No, I know. I was like, all right, I gotta give it to you. I got it in the name of rock and roll. So there you go. And it sounds great.
Yeah.
I think you really like it.
That's how they're supposed to sound.
Yeah, exactly. The original, the whole
The
thing.
original idea.
A couple of them, like, I mean, Sgt. Pepper sounds amazing. So I think you really like it. And I know we.
Thanks very much.
All right. See you later.
The Sunset Strip has seen a whole lot of different movements and genres and musical versions of the same thing, basically. You know, we had a bunch of different musical movements, and first of all, Motorhead is one of those bands that transcends movements. Like, it doesn't matter what's happening in the community and the rock culture, Motorhead is still hailed as being like king. When he moved to LA, became part of the scene, he was already embraced. It was just basically his throne was waiting for him.
Sound of speeding. 2 cameras, Mark.
Action.
Lem, someone I want you to meet. Hank Moody, the writer.
Obviously, he's not from LA, but it's really interesting to see like how much of a staple Lemmy has become, especially in Hollywood. He's become a Los Angeles icon, you know.
Cut.
Ready?
I don't know if he does fit in LA. LA's so fucked up, you know, but he doesn't really fit. I think Hollywood has to fit him.
Now all we have to do now is do that another 147 times and we go.
A lot of people are LA bashers, you know. It's like, especially people from up north in San Francisco, you know, that kind of thing. Oh, that's LA, La La Land, or whatever they call it. And, you know, it's just a land of, you know, pretentious people and all that kind of thing. There's a real weight to this town. There's a real history to it. I think it's got a lot more balls than a lot of big cities, frankly. Lemmy looks like an LA rocker to me. I mean, he's just got that thing about him. He's got the part that's combination biker, musician, or, you know, guy that works at the car wash. You know, he's got that old school LA look. He doesn't change it, and I don't think it was created, you know. And that's what the good part of LA is. It's the people that don't try to be. Yeah, I was in bands when I was a little kid, and then I kind of came to California to do that. I got out here, and this cat I knew wanted me to come to an acting class, so I went. And next thing you know, I was in some theater group, and I didn't know anything about it. I realized that I was making a little bit of money doing this acting, you know, and so I stuck with it, and started playing music.
Points on that Monsters ball?
Yeah, yeah. I made $500,000 on Monsters Ball. When the movie came out, and then that's just up front there. And when the movie came out, it was successful. It made about, I don't know, $35 million, and it made for $3 million, right? One day I'm sitting at the house, and my assistant comes in and says, "You just got a check in the mail." I looked at it. It's for a couple of $1 million. Yeah, I went and bought a case of Bud.
Yeah,
you know,
another case. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Metallica recorded 4 of our songs, and I got a check for like 100 grand. You know, that's pretty good too. I ain't got to the millions yet, but you know, I'm working my way up.
That's pretty good.
My first favourite was Buddy Holly, and then Little Richard, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, those guys.
Little Richard, such an outrageous voice.
Oh, he is, yeah.
The best vocal ever in rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. I worked with him one time on a TV show. He was there, and he pulls up in an old Cadillac, and all these guys get out in suits and everything, you know, and he had a whole, yeah, right. And he met my son. My son at the time was only like 3 or 4, you know, and Little Richie goes, "Oh, hey, baby." And I told my kid, I go, "Hey, Willie."
Excuse me.
I said, "Hey, Willie, listen, it's okay to talk to this cat, but don't sit on his lap."
Lemmy's like a fucking radioactive cowboy.
Hard rock Johnny Cash.
A biker.
World War II chic.
He's Black Bart meets Mad Max.
He's Captain Hook.
A little bit of cowboy, a little bit of metal,
little bit of rock and roll.
He would be the perfect description of like my dream dude for sure.
Lemmy's look is something that is probably a little bit cultivated from back in the 50s, and then added to that some of the sort of shit that he picked up along the way, you know, his bikers, punk rock, whatever. Although he's been around for a long time, so it was, you know, maybe he had some of the punk stuff they got from him.
Describing Lemmy's style is not that easy because, you know, from boot to boot, it always changes substantially. He's got a very distinctive and good aesthetic sense. He actually will bring me drawings of what he wants. If I was to really give it a specific name, you know, I would probably say it's like a Western jackboot, because he likes these boots with like a squared off nose, like almost military looking, almost like a cavalry kind of boots, you know, with, you know, Motorhead flair to it, of course.
We were at a rehearsal place in the Valley. This is back in the mid-'90s. And Motorhead was right next door to us rehearsing for a tour. Every day we would see Lemmy out at this video game in this lobby area. And it was summertime, and it was really hot in the Valley, and Lemmy was wearing these shorts. Now, if I tell you he's wearing Daisy Dukes, it was like a thong, dude. You would walk out of our door, and the first thing you would see when you walk out of our room was Lemmy bent over this machine. So it's basically Lemmy bending over with his ass in your face. That's a weird scene. And we're all wearing shorts, but our shorts are, you know, like board shorts. Finally, you know, I got the balls to walk up to him, and he's playing the game, and I'm like, hey, man, hey, Scott, how are you? And I'm like, hey, you know, we just all been wondering. He's like, what's that? And I said, what's the deal with the shorts? Like, seriously. And I'm like thinking, like, I'm afraid, is he going to punch me? Like, what's going to happen here? And he's like, what? What do you mean? And I said, they're really short. Like, what's it like? We see your ass every day. It's kind of weird. And he goes, what? It's hot out. These are shorts. And he like kind of steps back. He looks at me and goes, those aren't shorts. Those are pants. These are shorts. I'm cool. And he just kind of goes like this. Like it made absolute sense.
I'm so bad, baby, I don't care.
What anyone thinks, what anyone cares, it doesn't matter.
He's just Lemmy. You either take him or you fucking don't. And he don't give a flying shit whether you do or not.
There's no words. It's just, he's Lemmy. I mean, it's almost, it should be a verb. You know?
Nobody told him to do anything that he wasn't completely natural and comfortable doing. And that's rare, man. And that's why I think we respond with respect, because we want to be like that.
I think he's a renegade. You know, there's not that many of them anymore. Everybody assimilates, you know, go along to get along, you know, to get what they need to get. And I don't see Lemmy as that kind of guy. I see Lemmy as doing things his way to get where he wants to go. And that's attractive because people don't do that anymore.